6 Minute English
from bbclearningenglish.com.
Hello and welcome to 6 Minute English. I'm Catherine.
And hello, I'm Rob.
Today we have another technology topic.
Oh, good. I love technology. It makes things easier. It's fast. It can have gadget.
Do you think that technology can actually do things better than human?
For some things, yes. I think cars that drive themselves will be safer than human, but that will take away some of pleasure of driving. So I guess this depends on what you mean by better.
Good point, Rob, and that actually ties in very closely with today's topic, which is techno-chauvinism.
What's that?
We will find out shortly, Rob, but before we do today's quiz question, artificial intelligence or AI is an area of computer science that develops the ability of computer to learn to do things like solve problems or drive with cars without crashing. But in what decade was the term artificial intelligence coined? Was it A, the 1940, B, the 1950, or C, the 1960?
I think that's quite a new expression, so I'll go for C, the 1960.
Good luck with that, Rob, and we will give you the answer later in our program. Now let's get back to our topic of techno-chauvinism.
I know what chauvinism is. It's someone who thinks that their country or race or sex is better than other. But how does this relate to technology?
We are about to find out. Meredith Busros is a professor of journalism at New York University, and she's written a book called Artificial Intelligence. She appeared on the BBC Radio for program more or less to talk about it. Listen carefully and find out her definition of techno-chauvinism. Techno-chauvinism is the idea that technology is always the highest and best solution. So somehow, over the past couple of decades, we got into the habit of thinking that doing something with a computer is always the best and most objective way to do something, and that's simply not true. Computers are not objective, they are proxies for the people who make them. What is Meredith Busros' definition of techno-chauvinism?
Is this idea that using technology is better than not using technology?
She says that we have this idea that computer is objective, something that is objective is neutral, it doesn't have an opinion, it's fair and it's unbiased, so it's the opposite of being a Calvinist. But Meredith Busros says this is not true.
She argues that computers are not objective. They are proxy for the people that make them. I will make you know what you proxy when you're using your computer in one country and want to look at something that is only available in different country. You can use a piece of software called a proxy to do that.
But a proxy is also a person or a thing that carry out your wishes and your instruction for you. So computers are only as smart or as objective as the people that program them. Computers are proxies for their programmer. Broussard say that believing too much in artificial intelligence can make the world worse. Let's hear a bit more. This time find out what serious problem in society the seating may be reflected in AI. It's a nuanced problem. What we have is data on the board as is and we have serious problem with racism, sexism, classism, ageism in the world right now. So there is no such thing as perfect data. We also have a problem inside the tech world where the creator of algorithms do not have sufficient awareness of social issue such that they can make good technology that gets us closer to a world as it should be.
She said that society has problem with racism, sexism, classism, and ageism.
And she said it's a nuanced problem. A nuanced problem is not simple, but it does have small and important area which may be hard to spot, but they need to be considered.
And she also talked about algorithm used to program this technological system. An algorithm is a set of instructions that computers use to perform their tasks. Essentially, it's the rules that they use to come up with their answer. And Browse believes the technology will reflect the view of the who create the algorithm.
Next time you are using a piece of software or your favorite app, you might find yourself wondering if it's a useful tool or does it contain this little nuance that reflect the view of the developer.
Right, Catherine. How about the answer to this week question then?
I asked in which decade was the term artificial intelligence coined? Was it the 40, the 50, or the 60?
And I said the 60.
But it was actually the 1950. Never mind, Rob, let's review the vocabulary.
Well, we had a Calvinism. That's someone who believes their country, race, or sex is better than any others.
And this gives us techno-Calvinism, that believe that a technological solution is always a better solution to a problem.
Next, someone or something that is objective, is neutral, fair, and balanced.
A proxy is a piece of software, but also someone does something for you on your behalf. And one's problem is a subtle one. It's not simple case of right or wrong. In one's problem there are small but important things that you need to consider.
An algorithm is set of software instruction for a computer system.
Well, that's all we have time for today. Goodbye for now.
Bye bye.
6 Minute English
from the BBC.